Well, I don't have any comments and feedback, ma'am. Presentations were very good, especially the presentations yesterday. That was about the carbon and energy.
Yeah,
that was very nice, and that was very useful for me as well.
okay, nice to hear that.
Thank you.
Okay, we have got the Mentimeter link. Participants, if you see the link, can you try giving us the feedback, whatever you can remember from last session? That would be the questions in the Mentimeter. And whoever have finished doing the Mentimeter, just I mean, say yes or done to the chat box, so we will get an idea that you are actually we are communicating well or not. Okay, I'll be giving like 2 or 3 more minutes for that, and in the meantime we want to hear from another person from India, maybe our participants. Niru, one more thing I was trying to say, that if you say some bad about the presentations, we are not going to mind. I mean, we won't mind, you know. It is
Well,
for the betterment.
but yes,
It's going to affect you anyhow.
Okay, I will add one thing, ma'am. Actually, in Nepal, after 2 o'clock, we always have a rainfall and lightning. So for us, that if the session would be earlier, that would be good for us.
Thank you. Thank you. That really meant a lot. But what happens in India and Bangladesh, these are all postgraduate students, right? So they have the classes in the morning. So every time we have to choose the hour after, after office hours. So at least if it would be like the second half, they could have like done their job at the morning and can take an early break and can manage something. But if we started, at the start of the at the beginning, then they might find the office not cooperating them. So just because of that, we had to choose these masters, master students. I mean, it is unlike from Nepal, because the way I have heard, all master students done their things in the morning, right? The classes and sessions, but it's opposite in India and Bangladesh. They have all their classes in the evening or afternoon.
It's okay, ma'am.
So they do their jobs in the, in the first half. That is the reason. But thanks. Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that. You cannot control. Okay, we have got we have got only one comment from Muqtadir, Bangladesh. Thanks. Okay, after Niru, I want to go to some Indian participants. I cannot see any Indian participants yet. No. Am I missing someone? I don't think so. Everyone's either from Bangladesh or from Nepal. That's so far I can see. Okay, then let's hear something from Bangladesh and then get back to India if they arrive by then. Okay. Niru, can you pick one Bangladeshi student from the list? Yeah.
Runa Akhtar.
Runa Akhtar. Can you please unmute yourself and...
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, ma'am. I find the whole session very interesting. One request from mine. It will be very helpful if we all are provided the recorded session.
Okay, I cannot promise all until we get the consent from the presenters. But of course, the hands-on sessions and the training sessions will be provided, and the PDFs, the presentation slides will be provided to you. But I cannot say, at this moment that all recordings could be shared or not until we get the consents from each presenters. Maybe they can. We will do the editing and then we'll send that to them to get their consent. Only then we can share that with you. So it might be a bit late for you to get all the recordings.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So just one more from Runa. Can you pick one from India? I cannot see anyone from India today.
There's Orpan Lama, ma'am. Orpan Lama from India.
Otto Lama? Where is she?
Orpan Lama from India.
Orpan Lama? How come I cannot see her here?
I just saw him just now. I think he just okay, he's not.
I cannot see.
No, ma'am. I think he just left. He just left. He was there, ma'am. He left.
Okay, no worries.
No
if he comes, no one from India. Maybe they have something, I don't know. I haven't heard anything from them yet. No worries. We can start with Lipi and Preeti, and on the break time, we can look at the Mentimeter and can have the feedbacks at that time. Preeti and Lipi, we are really great to have you with us today. The way I can see, it is simply, I do know that you are linked with the Terry School of, Terry School of India. I cannot say much about, your experiences that much. So it would be really great for me if you could introduce yourself to the students, in whatever format you like, and then have your session. So over to you, Lipi and Preeti.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lipi Gandhi. I studied at Terry School of Advanced Studies. I completed my master's from Terry. And right now I'm working at a firm called as ISS ESG as junior analyst. Over to you, Preeti.
Hi, everyone. My name is Preeti Vasudevan. I have a background in water resources engineering, which I have completed from Terry School of Advanced Studies. And currently I'm working as a junior technical officer in water management at Wetlands International South Asia. So we work on different aspects of wetland conservation over there. So that's it from me. Maybe we can start with the session if it's fine.
Yeah, excellent. I have seen someone of you, is working for WISA, WISA.
Yeah, I'm working with Lisa.
Okay, we have been to Istanbul under the WISA activities. How to write, it was a workshop. So anyhow, WISA's work, I really like the best. Okay, best of luck.
Thank you. So I'll start sharing at my end. I hope all of you can see the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so today's session is about the geospatial solutions that we have. And I'll just run you through the agenda quickly, how we're going to set up the whole session, and what are the few things that I want you guys to, just to keep a note of. We have about 7 tools, out of which we will have the exercise for 3 of the tools and rest would be the demo. And there would be like 2 tools in the first session, then 2 in the next one. And then towards the end of the session, we have 3 demo for Google tools. And then in the last half an hour session, we'll have a question and answer session. And apart from that, just a few things that during the session, if you have any questions during the demonstration or maybe the exercise bit, you can write down your questions in the chat box or raise your hands to ask. And we'll have 3 live exercises for which the data will be shared at our end. And we're planning that towards the end of the session, like during the question and answer session, we could have 3 volunteers who could show on their work whatever they did for the 3 exercises that we will do today. So that would be nice to see the work that we do today. And then we'll take rest of the questions towards the end of the session. So I'll just start with the first tool in that case. So the first tool that we have is My Maps. So basically, My Maps is a tool which helps you creating the custom maps and whatever places and points that you need to add. You can search in the places, makes map from spreadsheets or even shape files, and personalize them, adding different kind of features like photos or colors or like polygons, different kinds of features. And the good part is that it is a very easy user friendly tool, and you can also access it on your phone itself. So a lot of times when you don't have access to your PCs or laptops, you can also create these maps via your phones, and they will definitely be exported. So one of the sample projects that we created using that was about map of major rivers in India. So in this particular map, we created the origin point for Narmada River, and what is the track of the river, as well as the Ganga River, from where it originates and where does it drains out. And we also have it for Kaveri River. So I'll just show you how my maps looks like. Yeah. So this is how the Google My Maps looks like. You have you can add layers using this particular button. So layer would contain all the features that you would require for your particular thing. And in the layer, you can add different features. Like as of now, I've added using this particular marker feature. I can click here and I can simply, like search for some place and add a marker for it. So here, if we're checking it for Narmada River, this is the place, and the point can be created somewhere here. If you click simply here, and you can write down the names accordingly. And apart from that, we can also add in the directions for 2 points. We can also create here you can add in your direction point name, so you can directly search for the places out here, this bit and this bit. And you can also add in polygons or shapes or lines to trace some path for a particular river, because you have a base map, so it is easy to like trace a path for a river, or if you want to point out a particular reservoir or a wetland. And you can also measure the distances using this particular feature. So you can like simply point it in somewhere here, and if you drag it until here, you'll see that you can use it. This particular tool is quite useful. So you can look into topics such as interlinking of rivers or tracing the origin points of some rivers with respect to water in particular. And yeah, this is mainly about My Maps, and you can export it. And you can also like if you have Google Earth files that are already available at your end, so you can also upload those maps and you can see the visualizations here. And you also have the options for different base maps, so you can anytime change the base maps like this based on your conveniency. And you can share these projects, you can import these projects and share it with other people so that they can either view it or they can work on it. So this is quite a useful tool that you can use for it. And, yeah, this is mainly about the My Maps tools. And over to you, Preeti. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lipi. So I'd also like to add that My Maps is very versatile in the kind of data that you can add into it. So there is an application in My Maps that you can install on your phone. If you go to sites and you want to mark any place of importance on where you're collecting water quality or different ground truthing points, you can add it on your phone, and you can also add data related to that. So I also like extensively used it in my uh, projects that I have carried out. So it's quite useful. We do not have an activity for that because it's quite intuitive, and It is something that you can explore in your own time. I have pasted the link for it on the chat. You can go and look at it after the session maybe. And there is also the application called My Maps on Google Play Store. Yes. So now we'll move on to the next tool that I'll be showing you. Let me share my screen. And I hope I'm audible. Let me know if I'm not audible.
You're audible.
Okay. Okay. So the next tool that we'll be looking at is the Google Earth creation tools. So this is also a product by Google. It largely encompasses, largely all of the tools that we'll be talking today are for visualization purposes, mostly like what your GIS tools might do. But this particular application, it is on the web. So you do not need any kind of application installed on your system. And though we can make the connect that this is like something a GIS tool would do, there are limitations to what this particular tool does. So it doesn't require as much expertise as you might need, for instance, ArcGIS or QGIS. This is for simple level mapping or simple something that you want to represent, something that you want to show. So these Google Earth creation tool, this particular tool also helps us create a narrative using the Google Earth, this particular platform. So you can make a story out of it. You can make a presentation out of it on if you have a list of places like list of wetlands that you are currently studying, or list of water stress states or water stress regions that you're looking at. You can possibly represent them on this particular tool, and you can make a presentation, neat looking presentation that you can show to the other person with this. And yeah, it has different kind of applications. So I will show them to you. So some of the main components that we'll be using over here are these things called placemarks and polygons that we'll be using. Placemarks are it's like a pin that you put that depicts a place, that represents a particular place. Yeah, and polygons are line features that again, encompassing an area, showing a particular area, and lines can be used to represent roads, rivers, and all of that. So these things, I'll be demonstrating how we use all of these in this particular one. So this is the link that you'll have to go to, earth.google.com/web. So it gets you to this place. Sorry. Yeah. One thing that you might see over here is it might have a little bit of a lag in case your internet connection is not all that great, or your system does not have enough RAM, because this is quite intensive application that takes a lot of resources on your system. Okay, so once you open, you can possibly see the whole view of the globe, and then you can see these sidebar with different icons on it. So what we'll initially do is we'll create a project. For that, you need to go to projects, and then you click on the new project, and then you can either import already present KML files that you might have. KML files can contain shape files such as points, polygons, lines that you can directly import, or you can create a project of your own. We'll create a project over here, and we will have an activity session after this where you will be working on this. You will be exploring the tools in this particular Google Earth tool. And so I would request you to listen right now so that you can replicate it maybe in the activity session. So now we have created a project, we can name it. So something that we'll be doing today is looking at different disaster prone areas, water mediated disasters. So I'll name it exactly that. And you can add a description to that also. Let us put the different kinds of disasters that we'll be looking at: floods, droughts, cyclones. So we'll be looking all of that today. There might be more, but let us limit ourselves to that. So it automatically gets saved. And I had shown you the different tools, right? Like the Placemark and the line and polygon. So you can see them in the bottom left over here. You have the Placemark and you have the draw line or shape tool also. So what you can do is you can place them in different places that you want. So let us start with maybe cyclones. So one thing that we might know is that this particular coast is prone to cyclones. So I would like to highlight that. How do I represent that? Since it's a coastline, I can represent it in either two ways. I can represent it with a line or I can represent it with a polygon. But right now, let's represent it with a line. So what you'll have to do is you'll go over here and then you will click on this and then you will trace it like normally how you might draw. So I'll be tracing from Odisha to parts of West Bengal to indicate that this particular region is prone to cyclones. So you, when you're done, you click on enter and it will get saved. So you can add different attributes to this particular shape that we have added. So you can name it. So I will name it as cyclone prone region. Okay. And you can also add any description that you might have. I would like to add the two different states that I had put over here. So in Odisha and West Bengal. So this is largely to explain. So I'll also show you how this will look so you'll get a better idea. So once I've added this, I can also add an image. Maybe different ways of adding an image. If you have an image in your desktop, you can upload it over here. You can do a Google image search, or you can also add videos over here in case you would like to add something, or Google Drive or from URL also. So I'll just add a generic image of what a cyclone might look like. So once I've added that, I can also change the color of the line, for instance, and other different things. So let us preview how this looks like. So when I do preview, it will open a box and it will show me, this is called an info box. So it will show you the title and whatever content that you have added over here. So you can add videos over here. You can add more than one photo that it will show in a carousel that you can move forward and backwards as to see all the different images that you might have had. And you can also change the type of the info box from small to large. So that will change the size of what is shown. We have a lot of content, you can add a large one. That is all up to you. And you can also add different colors, sizes. It's very flexible in how much you can edit it and the attributes that you can add. So another one is that you can see in the bottom is that capture this view. So I would like it to move a little closer to the like I wanted to be more zoomed in when this particular slide is shown. So I'll do capture this view once I've zoomed in, and whenever this particular line is focused on, it will have the same zoom level at that time. So it will show you this particular how it looks when you do the preview, and it automatically gets saved. So you go back and then you can see over. So you can also edit it again by clicking on the edit icon, and this controls the visibility. And if you want to remove it, you can do the delete thing. So we have added a cyclone prone region. Let us look at drought right now. So this particular region of Rajasthan is a dry desert kind of a region, arid desert region. So it is prone to drought. So if we want to mark this big of a region, we could possibly use a polygon, because the use of a line does not make sense over here because we're representing an area. So we will be, to make a polygon, you use the same tool as the line, but you will have to connect the ends in order to make a polygon. So these tools are available here, or you can add it from this particular place over here that says new feature. If you click on new feature, you have this option to add a place mark, draw a line or shape. So I will click on this. I will randomly like trace over this particular place, maybe not accurately, just to give an idea of how these tools are useful. So I don't think that it was quite visible how I ended that polygon. I will delete this and I'll do it again. Now I'll zoom in. So I move it towards the first node and it closes. Again, here also you can add the title, the description, or everything that you might want to add, images, including images. Here you have two different types of colors. One is for the outer boundary color, and the other one is for the inner shading that might be there. So again, I want to zoom in further before I capture this view. I capture this view and this is what it will zoom into when this area is shown in the presentation. So it might not make much sense right now. I'll show you after we add a few more points as to how it actually works. And so we have added a line for cyclone and area polygon for drought. Now, if we move on to floods, so let us try to represent different kinds of flooding over here. So most of our cities, they get flooded due to lack of proper natural drainage channels that have been impermeated over with impervious surfaces. So we have urban flooding that is very common in larger part of the world also, because of how urbanized our cities have become. So let us take the example of Chennai. So it undergoes urban flooding quite often during the December when it is rainy season over there. So this is just to represent the use of the other tool. So we'll use the Placemark tool over here. And so once you are zoomed in up to how much you want to, you can click on it and then add urban flooding. right? So over here, when you add a placemark, you can obviously like look at different icons that you can add for it. You can change the colors. You can. There is a lot of options to customize how you do. So you will probably understand it better when you can explore looking into it. I'll capture this view so that I get this particular place is zoomed in when I move to this particular component of shuttle. And then so we know that even this region Bihar has a lot of flooding that takes place. It's very prone to floods. So we can represent that using area too. Again, a rough region that I'm representing with this. And another way of adding the place mark is also like getting it from here. But another way is to search for the place. If you want to search for any place, you can search it over here and then you can add it as a place mark. So I'll search for now I can add this to the project. You can see that it already comes with certain information added. So I can choose to have that information or I can replace it. So it gives you an option to add your own description to replace the ones that Google gives you. So I'll just have it like that. I'm not going to change it. So now we have largely all of the things that we want to add. We have seen the use of these two placemark shapes and placemark polygon and line tools. We have also seen how you add it from different places. Now there is this other option to add a full screen slide. So adding a folder, you can add a folder with this same thing, with this info box that we have seen, and you can collate different layers together, put it under that folder. And this full screen slide, it is to serve as the title slide or some large amount of information that you want to display. So since we are doing this on water mediated disaster prone areas, so I will name it and I will just write some kind of description and add an image. Just a representative image of what we might be talking about. So this, okay, a representation. And then if you preview this, it will show you the entire slide of what you have made. So this could possibly serve as a title slide for your presentation. So this particular two lines that you can see when you hover over it is to rearrange the slides, obviously. So let's move the title slide to the first. Then we have the cyclone, then we have drought, then urban flooding, flood, and again flooding. So these three are flooding, drought, and cyclone regions. So if we want to look at how this might look when we present it, it would be something like this. So you'll have a title slide with an image in the back and text representing what you are trying to convey. And then it will move through each of the components that we have added, each of these shapes that we have added. So we added this line first with this scale set. So it has moved in over here. It shows you the image, videos, and text that you have added for this particular one. And then it moves to the next in the particular order that you had put it in. Yeah. And it again shows you the different aspects of attributes that you've added. So I had not set a scale for that, so that's why it was showing only that much. And since this particular region is added from the search, it has more information. It even has a boundary that is added to it. So that was all that we had made. So this, you can use this as part of your presentation, even as part of your research, because this particular application has satellite imagery of the entire world. You can also use it for representation. You can use it for various things. And I will talk about some of the other small tools over here. So the north arrow is to recenter your, reposition your orientation. And this 3D can be used to, in case we are at the mountains. So there is a 3D imagery available, as in it will show you the elevation also. So I will show that in another one of my examples that I'll show. Right now, I'm not able to show it because to move around in 3D, you will need to use the middle scroll button of your mouse, and it's not working for me right now. So you can move around in 3D and explore, even in case if you're looking for some kind of lost water bodies, and if the depression is like large enough, so you can discover depressions where the water used to be. So those kind of visualization are very helpful in our field. And this is the stickman icon is the street view. Street view is mostly of images people might have added in the map. So the blue ones are the regions where there is imagery available. So if you click on there, it will take you to the images that they might have added. So this is a particular dam, and you can see the water or whatever image that people usually add. This particular feature is extensive in regions like the US, where there are Google provided imagery, street view imagery, where the particular vehicle goes around taking pictures of different places. The amount of data that we might have in this part of the world might not be as extensive. And again, you can move around using this globe thing. So that is something. And I also wanted to add, like, you can also measure over here. You can measure different places, how much, even the area. With that, you can do it using the tool on the sidebar in the extreme left. And this is the one above that. There are some kind of a box kind of a structure. You can click on it and it will allow you to customize the kind of map that is the base map. Like right now that we can see that there is some amount of labels that are added over here. So if you want none of them, if you want a plain map, so you can do the clean style. which removes all of the labels and state borders, country borders. Then if you want everything, including this will add even roads, landmarks. If you go closer, it could possibly show you the road routes and everything, a lot more information. And again, custom to pick and choose what you want. Yeah, so these things are pretty much adding grid lines and animated cloud, possibly if you want to do that. And, yeah, so that is this Google Earth tool. So something I'll also show you is how to export this. How do you share this? You've created a project. How do you share this with somebody? So you have this option to share a project. So you can share it as a link or add collaborators. If they have their email ID, you can add it over here. Or if you have, if you want it to be widely available, you can share the link and change them to viewer if you don't want them to edit your work. An editor if you are actually collaborating with the other person and they also want to add data to this. So that will be there. And you can also export all of this as a KML file. KML file you can then import in your GIS applications, in your Google Earth Pro application that's in the desktop. So that is what Google Earth creation tool is. So this can be largely be used in terms of presenting or showing the output of your results to a larger audience, because this does seem a little fancy. So I will show another application that we had done using this. So this is one of the previously made exercises, largely to just represent what we can do with this. So this shows all the different peaks, the top highest peaks about 8,000 meters, to give an idea of what is possible with this particular application. So again, the title slide with information, images, then more of that. You can give information if you're going to be showing about a particular water body, particular. You can give more information over here than in the info box. So here we have added, we have added a polygon to the glacier and a line to the route taken to the top of the glacier. Sorry, top of the peak. Again, more information on that. So this was what I was talking about, the 3D view. Like it can give you the elevation, and you can, if you see at the bottom right towards here, it can show you the lat long, it can show you the scale of the particular zoom level, and also show you the elevation that you are pointing at, elevation of the surface. So this is largely what this particular project is, adding multiple layers, adding multiple polygons, lines to represent different aspects of this particular region. Yeah, so I am done with my demonstration. In case any of you have any questions, we can take them for maybe 5 minutes before we can go on to the activity. You can unmute and ask me if you have
If any one of you wants to share your screen and show us what you are doing, you are most welcome.
Okay. In case you don't have any questions, I will move on to the activity that we will be asking you to do. So,
sorry to interrupt. I have shared the file. Okay, you can go ahead with the demonstration.
Okay.
I mean, you can go ahead with the instructions. Yeah.
So Lippy has shared a file in the chat. So it has a list of places, list of points that we have written down, reservoirs, canals, and dams. So you can map them in this particular application. You can map them in terms of polygons, lines, and points, and make a visual presentation, something like what I have shown you right now. You can add any information that you want, and if you are free to add any more points or any other different ideas that you might have, anything else that you want to represent using this particular tool, you're free to do that. So we have around 15 to, I think the break is in another 17 minutes or so. So we have time till that for you to work on this activity. And so Lippy has already shared the link, and the link for Google Earth also I'll share so that you can go ahead with this. And in case you have any queries in the middle, you can write in the chat box or ask it directly over here. We'll try to address whatever questions that you might have. So I have sent the link for the Google Earth web, so you can start with the activity. And it requires a pretty decent internet connection. So that might be a limiting factor sometimes.
May I ask if someone else, I mean, if someone here is using the mobile, because this can also be used in mobile. So if any one of you have any trouble like getting into the PC, they can do on mobile the way Preeti just mentioned in the beginning. Lippy, if by any chance, due to the internet disruptions, they don't receive the text message on the chat box, can you show us what you are talking about on your screen and just tell them a bit little? I mean, they have to make a point, they have to make a line, and they have to make a polygon.
I'll tell you. Like I'll share my screen and I'll explain what. So this is the file that we have shared. It is on natural and man-made water infrastructures around the world. So we have classified it into three: reservoirs, canals, and dams. Reservoirs you will be representing with polygons. Canals you will be representing with lines, and dams you will be representing with points. So we've also listed a few of these as an example, so that you can try out, you can explore how to use the tool. So in case you want to add, so these 6 points that you will be using a polygon to represent them. You don't need to do all of the 6, like you need to just learn how to use the tool so that it's applicable in your research work. So you might choose to do 1 or 2 or 3, or something like that, so that you get a little familiar with this particular tool, and you will be creating a presentation, because like Lippy had informed, we would like to have at least 2 to 3 people presenting what they have done during this hour at the end of the session, so that you know, we can also help you out if you're facing any issues or it can also be kind of inspirational to other people to what is capable with this particular.
Yes, we can have 3 volunteers from 3 countries who can, do the presentation, what they have done so far. May I then request, Harikala, are you using your PC or mobile?
Ma'am, I'm using my PC.
Can you do these 3 things?
Okay. Okay, ma'am, I'll try.
Thank you. And now can you choose another person from another country so that I am not going to choose the
Okay.
the
I'll choose this Ariel, this boy named Ariel from Nepal.
Ariel. Okay, Anjan Ariel, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you then do the volunteer? I mean, what you have done about the exercise today? Anjan Ariel,
Yes, ma'am.
can you do this
Hello?
exercise? Can you do this exercise and show us what you have done so far?
Today's session, ma'am.
Yes.
In mobile, I don't have idea how to do it, but in laptop I can do.
Okay, you can do it on mobile as well. I mean, just go to the website, or you can even
Yes,
download the Google Earth and do the same.
In mobile, so you can import any existing KML files you have or open projects that you have created on the desktop. It's not very conducive to add this in the mobile because the application there is quite lightweight. I don't think.
Okay, Ariel, will that be too hard for you? Okay, anyone from Nepal wants to volunteer? Everyone thinks it would become like an exam for them. Anyone from Bangladesh wants to volunteer? Or otherwise I will choose myself, you know. If anyone can voluntarily do it, then everyone will be relieved.
It doesn't have to be anything extensive or a lot of work. It can just display, show whatever.
Exactly. Muqtadir, may I ask if you are available to do this exercise?
Yes, ma'am, I can do this exercise.
Excellent. It doesn't have to be these names. I mean, you can do it on Bangladesh. You can do it on Chittagong University areas. Just show them how to do a line and polygon and points. That's it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Excellent. So only one from Nepal is left. Can anyone from Nepal volunteer? I see Anjan Ariel's having net trouble. Anupa Sharma already talked about her problem, right, earlier. And I don't see anyone from Nepal. Okay, Shumana Chetri.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you do it?
I will try, ma'am. I'm trying.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, whoever, whatever doing it, I mean, how much time, Preeti, we have to for them to do the presentations?
So actually, we have 3 activities. This is one of them. We have another 10 minutes for this, and then
okay, excellent. So we can then have 3 minutes for each of them. Whatever they are doing, they will show them on the screen. It doesn't have to end by 3 minutes, and in whatever format they are doing. So may I then request Harikala first, maybe, if you share your screen and show us whatever you are doing, then in 3 minutes we might ask Bangladesh or Nepal. So that might help, right? 3 times 9.
Yes, ma'am. But we were thinking that we could do the presentations at the end after all of the 3 activities, because we'll be having 2 more in the next session.
Okay. Now, in case there are, I mean, anyone's having any trouble, that's why I'm saying, thinking that maybe we don't need to wait up to 10 minutes. We can see whatever they are doing on their screen, and then can at the end can ask them, whoever having the troubles or things. Will that be okay?
Yes, sure. If they're having, if they are ready to show it, then that will be fine. That will be an issue.
Excellent. Yeah. Anyone is welcome to show it. We are just using the time, like 3 minutes. They will show, each representative will show what they are doing on their screen, and then after 10 minutes, the way Preeti was saying, that anyone can volunteer, show their presentation and what they have so far done, right? Preeti, is that? Yes.
Yeah, just on that. So we were thinking that the presentation thing could happen between 5 to 5:30 for all the activities, not after each session. Yes.
Okay then. Okay.
Right now, they can ask any questions if they have about anything. Like they can share the screen and tell us if they have any issues or something. But we can have the presentations for all the 3 activities between that particular time. I think, yeah. Okay.
So, ma'am, I've got a question, and that is when you're gonna draw a polygon in Google Earth. So, is there any way to reduce a point? For example, when I'm selecting a point, maybe I have selected that wrongly. So, is there any point like we are using in MS Word, like Control Z, to go back in our previous point?
I can help if they are not listening. Just click the left button. It will delete the points.
Yeah. So you have the option of either deleting it directly and then adding it again, or I'll share my screen and I'll show it to you. Or like we have already added this polygon. So if I want to, let's say that I made this wrongly, so I can move it where I want it to. And if I want to add more points, you can click on this middle, there's a circle, right? So you can click on this, it will add more points so that you can essentially rearrange it. So if you want to delete it, so again, you can, I don't think it's possible to delete each of the node right now, but you can rearrange it like this.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Deleting, I think, Preeti, you just have to click the left mouse cursor. Try select the points. And you can even press delete. They will delete, but you have to be careful at that time. Maybe it will delete either the front one or the back one. I mean, you have to select exactly the one of the point previously chosen.
Maybe you can try it out, because that doesn't work with me. So
okay,
maybe
let me check. Let me check. It's keep on reloading.
I guess it's a little heavy. The application is quite heavy. I think
I mean, it works perfectly on Google Earth app. Google Earth Pro app, but in case of Google Earth, I was trying to check, but it's keep on reloading.
So in case you're having problems like this, there is this option of using hardware acceleration mode in your browser. So you can go to your browser settings and enable that. Sometimes if it is disabled, your these kind of heavy applications might be slow.
Preeti has a question. Someone has raised their hand.
Yeah, Preeti.
Hi, ma'am. Yes. So unfortunately, my Wi-Fi just went down. I wanted to share the screen actually, but I am using my phone right now, so I won't be able to share the screen. So I was using the Google Earth Pro, the platform I downloaded. So I'm not being able to look at the project thing, as in like when you showed different slides, like, you know.
Okay.
I am being able to do the polygon and the line, everything. Like the tools are easily available, but how do I, like, you know, the way you are done in slides, like, is it possible to do it like in the app as well?
No. So this is the Google Earth.
Oh, okay.
So you can do it only on this. The desktop application of Google Earth that you might have, the slides option is not available over there.
Oh, okay. So to have the slides, like I need to, this particular feature will be there only if I browse it, right?
Yeah. It's Google Earth web, I guess. You can search it, and I also posted the link. Maybe you can look at it when your internet is done.
Okay, cool. Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried. It didn't work on web, and now it's again reloading.
I guess some of the functions are a little different if you have already worked on Google Earth Pro. So, because this essentially does not have all of the functionalities that you might find in Google Earth Pro. This is largely for visualization purposes. So, for delete, you might have to move the points around or delete the polygon and then try it again. I'd also like to add that we have the PPT with all of the steps in explaining all of the components. So we will share it with the organizers after the session, so that in case you want to go back and you find that something is a little difficult, you can refer to them. We'll also share our email ID so that you can get back to us with any queries that you have.
So, ma'am, I think it's already 3 p.m. So maybe we can go for a 15 minutes break and then after 15 minutes, let's all get together for the next session.
Yes, of course. 3 minutes break, you meant?
No, 15 minutes break. Another session, the next session starts at 3:15, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's already 3, so I thought that maybe we can go for the break now, all of the
Okay,
participants.
so then 15 minutes break, we'll be back at 3, right? 3:15.
Yeah, 3:15 according to, yeah, 3:15.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
let me then set up a time.
So now we'll be looking at Google Earth time lapse. Time lapse is something that we look at different over the years. Sorry, I'll start from the top. So we have satellite images. So we look at satellite images from the past till present to understand how a particular land use or how a particular area has changed temporarily over time. So that function is kind of automated in this tool that Google Earth provides. It's called the Google Earth time lapse. So they have worked with USGS, US Geological Services Survey, NASA and Time, and they have released more than quarter century of images of Earth taken from space. And it's an interactive application that you can move around. You can look at different places. You can look at different times, how the particular region has looked. So it largely uses satellite images. So the link, I think we will share in the chat box. So this is what it is. There are actually two versions of this. So what we are currently looking right now is the Google Earth Engine time lapse. There's also Google Earth time lapse that I'll possibly cover after this. So it does the same application but in a different platform. So right now that you can look, if you go for Google Earth Engine time lapse, this is where you land, and you can look that there is this particular region that it was zoomed into. This is the Columbia Glacier, and you have data satellite images from 1980s, I guess. Yes. So there is data from 1984 till 2020. So you can look at, you can scroll, you can go ahead, you can look at each year how the glacier has looked, and then you can, it is also playable. You click on this play button, then it plays through each year. So you can pause it and you can control the speed through this particular playback speed option that you have. Currently it's at 0.5. If you go to 0.25, it will play a little slower than that. So you can actually sit and observe how the actual change has been over the years. So we are able to see how the glacier has melted over time, how the glacier has retreated from 1984 to 2020, and the effect is very visible. It's very visual. It's something that you can interpret even without any statistical data. It's something that you can see to know that there has been a drastic change in this one. So we can also possibly, yeah. So this is how it was in 1984. This is how it is in 2020. The whole this part is. So this is this particular region. So Google Earth, they have already curated some of the other drastically changed landscapes over here that you can explore. So for instance, we can look at the drying of the Aral Sea in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. So again, you'll have to change this possibly. So again, it goes from 1984 to 2020, and you can actually look at how different the land, the water extent in 1984 was than what it is in 2020. There's hardly any. So some of the applications that you might use this for would be obviously change detection, different capacities, like looking at how a water body, the water extent of the water body has decreased over time. Like over here, it's from 1980 to 2020. That's and this change is very significant. And if you are looking at aspects other than water, you can also look at how the forested regions have changed over time, or how the land use around a particular water or land use in a particular catchment has changed over time, to understand the implications of all of this on the particular water body or particular river. You can, it will be easier for you to visualize, no, it's easier for you to infer the impact that these changes will have, since it's in a visual aspect. You can see what the change is. We can also look at different aspects like how the coast shore has changed, if there has been any erosion, what kind of erosion, all of that. And also in terms of something that we already saw, we saw that glacier melting. We can also observe that. And also over here they have a visualization of how irrigation has impacted this particular region. And this is also quite, they've done this in a desert region, so it's pretty fascinating. So how do we use this tool again? You can search for, this is not only limited to the curated regions that they have. You can go to any other particular region you might want. You can zoom into it and see how the land use has changed over time. The region has changed. There are any changes over here. And you can search for places over here. You can use the search bar, and then you can use this to move the maps and all of that. And to share, if you want to share this particular region, I have zoomed in at this particular region. So if I want to share this with somebody else, I use the share button, and you can copy and paste this link. Or if you're using it, if you want to display this particular imagery in a web page, for instance, you can use this. You can use this embedded code in your page. But one limitation here is that you can't. It will only they'll be like. Let me show you. So I'm copying and pasting this particular link. So it will take me to that region, but it's not something, let's say if I want to represent this in a presentation that I'm doing, I don't get this as a GIF or I don't get this as a video as such. So that is one thing that we can't do over here. But there are other tools that you might possibly employ. One of the tools is a tool that is created by Google Earth Engine itself. So can maybe share this link. So this has some of the curated time-lapse videos for downloads. Some of the regions that they have selected as part of this platform, that you can download videos for it over time. But again, it's not customizable, as in you can't select your own region. You can't select your own time duration. You can't do that over here, but it has a lot of regions that they have the video for. If you're looking at applications of water, so there are quite a lot of, even the RLC one that we had already seen, and also different Dead Sea from Israel, and they have quite a lot of videos in terms of, they have a 2D, 3D video and that you can download. So a 3D is generally just, moving around, having more this effect of moving around that they have had. This is quite fascinating. Before the dam, okay, the increase of how the reservoir is changing over time. So that is quite fascinating. I think I also saw one where there was something before a reservoir and something after, how having a dam affects the river channel. And this shows how the meandering of rivers. And 2D videos, it's largely static. So you can see how it is changing. this is quite fascinating actually. Okay, so you can download it from here if you want to use it as an MP4 in your presentations. And this is one tool that is provided by Google, but again, this is not customizable, as in you can't select your own region of interest. So for that, there is another tool that is not exactly by Google, but it's a third-party application. So it has its own limitations. So it is. So I have also put the link on the chat, and it will also be available in the PPTs that we share. So no worries if you're not able to check it out now. So this is a third-party application that also does essentially the same, but disadvantage is that the data over here is only till 2016. So you won't have the latest images. Even those data were only till 2020. But it was of a higher resolution than what this offers you. The data that this offers is of a lower resolution, so it's not very visible. You know, the same details that is available in that. But I'll quickly go through what you can do with this. Again, you can do the time lapse thing. You can change over here the playback rate of this. So I want it to be slow so that you can actually observe. Okay, let's maybe look at a city. Some city. I'll go to Chennai. But it's not quite visible over here because the data is not very. Okay, let's go here just to demonstrate what we are doing right now. Okay, so again, these tools are some things that you might already know, like zooming in, zooming out, moving with the map and all of that. So I've already told you about the different speeds that you can have it at. And then you click on play, it will show you how it is changing. Again, the change over here is not very visible. There is some amount of change that is visible in terms of how the vegetation looks, but the change here doesn't seem very drastic. So maybe we have an activity after this. So maybe you can look at a place that you know that has some kind of visual changes over this period, right? So how do we extract? How do we get this? How do we get a GIF or a video format out of this? Is you click on share. Once you click on share, you want to download something, right? So you click on the share static animated image or video, and you can select the box size that you want, small, medium, or large. Let us select large, and you'll have to select the year that you begin with. So I want 1984. And I want it, and you drag this till you get the year that you want to end, till 2016. And then again, this has even playback rate of 0.1x. And then embedding time will put the year on the top. So you can either export it as an image or export it as a video. So right now, in exporting it as an image will give you a GIF file. Exporting it with an MP4 format. So let us generate an image. So it will generate over here. You can either save it from here itself, or you can use this link to. So it has done. It has created it. So I can right click and save image as something. Right, I can do this, or I can copy this link that it is giving me, and I paste it, and you can actually see it in a new place, new page, and then you can save it from here. It is the same steps for generating a video also. It will generate a link that you can save it from, or you can copy and paste it and save it as a video. So these are the two tools So the activity over here is that it's not very, it's not something that takes a long time. It's not something that you understand. Like you just have to understand how, like you would probably already understand how this works. So you will have to create a GIF or a video like this at any location of your choice where there is some change that is visible in terms of shoreline change or a change detection in water body or change detection in glaciers, how they've retreated or they have moved forward. So in terms of that, or you can also show a representation of how cities evolving around water bodies has led to the decrease or some kind of change detection. You will be creating using these tools. I have already pasted the links in the chat box, so you can use that. I think we have 5 minutes right now for you to do that. In case you have any questions, you can direct them to me right now, or you can carry on with the activity. And we will again meet after 5 minutes for the next tool that we'll be learning about.
Ma'am, I got confused how you save that file of that particular year. I can't see any save option.
Save option. In which tool are you talking about? Is it the last one that I shared?
This time lapse.
Yeah, for time lapse, you're talking about this last one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wait, I'll share my screen and then show you here. So you're talking about this particular tool that I'm showing right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you click on share and then you want any particular year, you have to change the starting time and the duration. So let's say I want only
there is not option in my I found it. Thank you.
Okay. So if anybody else has any questions, you can ask. Lippy has also posted the prompts for this activity. You can possibly go through it and think about what you want to work on. Please try to do the activity. You can use either of the two tools, the one that I showed at the last, or the already pre-made videos from Google Earth Engine to represent what you want to show.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
When I click that share option, there are two options available: share current view and embedded current view. What should I do? Due to the internet problem, there was glitch, so I missed that part.
Okay, so you will, if you share the current view, you will get a link that if you use anywhere else, it will take you to the same scale. So if you're focusing on your country right now, if you share that, the other person will also be able to see that. And the embed option is for in case you have a web page where you want to put this particular map, this particular view that you're seeing. you can use that code for embedding in your web page. So right now, if you want to do something, you will be sharing, you will be using that link.
And to save that part, what should I do?
Yeah, so here you can't save it. This particular that Google Earth engine time lapse, you can't save it. For that, I had given you the other two options. One is the like if you look at the links that we have posted, I have posted two links at the end. So the first link shows you a set of pre-made videos of different locations around the world that you can download and use in your presentation or in your work. The other one is something that you can customize on your own. Like you can go to a particular location that you want and you can create a GIF for a video of that. But one thing with the last link, the customization aspect, is that the data quality is less, the resolution is less. So it's not very clear because it's a third-party application and you don't have a lot of.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Images. So maybe we can take 2 more minutes to finish this activity and then we'll go on to the next one. Lippy, do you want to start with the next one?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Preeti. So let's start with the fourth tool that we have today. Okay, so the fourth tool is Google Earth Pro, the desktop app. So basically, it's a geospatial software application where you can see the virtual globe, and it offers you the ability where you can, capture and analyze a lot of geographical data. And the most special feature about this particular app is that you can use it for advanced features. You can import your GIS data, you can export the GIS data from here, you can create a file here and use it into your GIS softwares, or maybe import it from there to get a better visualization of your projects. And also you can go back in time with historical imagery. So there are like a lot of tools that you have across Google Earth Pro. So this is one of the tools, like this is one of the projects that we created. So this is basically a map of different water bodies in an Indian city called Nagpur. So this particular map shows you the water quality indices based on the secondary data, like the qualitative data. And here, if you can see, this is an exported image. So this particular black line that you see, that shows the municipal boundaries of that city, and these are the different water bodies across that particular city. And just like the way you have legends in the GIS maps, exported maps, the same way you can create it here also, and like give it legend according to your own choice. So like here you have different qualities and different color codings are done. So I'll just open the app here. So this is how the Google Earth Pro app looks like. So you have the tab called Places where you can see all the layers that you would add at your end. This particular layer toolbox pertains to all the layers that are already embedded in the desktop app itself. So you can enable them or disable them based on your features of the project. I mean, it totally depends on you. So moving ahead with how do we go about this particular software? So like how the first thing that I want to show you is how do we open any shapefile or a CSV file. So here we have this particular option to select the type of file. You can go here and select this sre shape.shp files. And just a minute. Yeah, and this is the particular bit that you can see. This is the shapefile that I want to import here. So I'll just select the file and it will ask you what style template you want to imply on it. And then you create a new template for this. And these are the settings that are related to that particular feature, but you can change them later on also. And you just click on OK and it will be saved here. So yeah, this particular feature is created. Like to confirm, you'll see this particular feature here in this Places toolbox. And by default, it is not enabled. The app will just zoom into the view. So it will not be enabled. So you have to click on this tick box button to enable it. So right now, all you can see is like a white patch on this particular land. So just to change the features of this, you can right click and go to the properties. And you can go to the style and for area. So right now it's filled and outlined. So you can just select the outline thing and increase the width of your boundary. And yeah, and then click on OK. So this is how now it will look like a more clearer version of it. So this is how you import the shape files into it. Alternatively, you also have options to import the CSV files that I'll show you in a while. Okay, I'll show you now. So for CSV files, you again change the shapefile to CSV. You have the option here. Yeah. Here, the generic text CSV file. And here is the file that we have. So here you will have a lot of options actually. Just a minute, I'm sorry, I can't move through this box. Yeah. Okay. So here you just, so it is essential that your CSV file should have a column, like 2 columns for latitude and longitude, so that you can properly align them the attributes. So here you have to select the right column from here, and then you can click on finish and again create a new template for this particular bit. And here itself you can select what name do you want to give to the point. So this particular CSV file contains the locations of about 10 mines in India, and I want to select like the name field should be this. So I can select this bit, and here I can change the color and what kind of icon do I want. So I want this icon for this, and just click on OK, and then create another template. So that particular template will also be there. So this is how you import the CSV files. So now if I click on this particular bit, I'll just to avoid the confusion. So now you can see that the this app took the coordinates that you already assigned it from your CSV file and it is already marked in the points that we have. So this is quite useful for better visualization. We can also like this is more accurate version of it. So this is how you import a CSV file, and this is how it looks like. And you can always change the properties by going on the properties column here and change the name and all. So yeah, this is mainly about the shapefile and CSV file. Now let's look into how to create different features across this particular file. So I want to add in a few points. Say, for example, I want to add a few place marks here in this particular file. So let me add it. So this option that you see, this is for add place mark thing. So you can click here and it will, like show you the pointer here. So you can either enter the latitude and longitudes manually if you have, or alternatively, you can search for the location in the search box. So I want to look for lakes at Maharashtra. And you click on the search button, and the map will automatically zoom into this particular view. So you can, like drag this button to this particular point and then zoom in again and, like pinpoint it properly. And you can change the name here also at your end. And you can change the features of this particular thing. So like we are already based on the qualitative data. So if I already know that the water quality is quite good here, so I'm using this green push button for this representation. Yeah. And you click on OK, and then your feature will be created like that. Okay. So like this is how you add in different features. So let me add a few more place marks here. Yeah, so it has again shown you the next point that I have, and I can simply drag it here. And again, give a new name. And color coded based on the data that I already have, the qualitative data. Okay. So for water bodies, it's quite easy to, like locate them on Google Earth. But this particular feature is important, and, like it has more application if you want to look into the groundwater. So like if you have a lot of groundwater stations where you measure the level of groundwater, you won't find them on Google. So, like if you already have the lat and long, you can simply click here and add the lat and long and add those points. So this is quite useful for that purpose also. And let me just add a few more so that we can visualize it. Okay, so I can drag it here. Also, another thing that you'll notice it, if you move your cursor to any point here, there is a change in the latitudes and longitudes. So you can alternatively note it down from here also, like zoom into some place and then, like put down the lat and long. And you also get the elevation of the region. So like if I keep on moving it here and there is a change in elevation also. Elevation is also here itself. Okay, so here you can see on the left that in our shapefile, we have added 3 features, 3 points. So this is how you add features into it. Okay, and moving ahead with the next tool, like the next feature in this particular tool is the part tool. This one's the icon for the part tool. So you simply click here and you'll have to, like put down the, it's the same way. So like you see that your pointer changes to a different square. So say I want to check it for what is the path that I need to take for Lake Ontario to Ottawa City. And I can enable the borders and labels thing to, like get a better visualization now here. Okay, sorry. So yeah, I can just zoom in and I can just click on this particular. So yeah, this would be your starting point, and just click on the button and drag it until here. Like just click it here, and then you can add it, like put in the name for this. And you can change the style again. You can, increase the width of your path and change in the color, whatever you want. And yeah, that is how you add in the line features basically for this particular thing. So like line or path feature for this. And you can add multiple points also in this. So like if you want to add 2-3 locations here, you can choose this bit, and then you can again click here and then click here. And to unselect it, you can just right click and then go back to some other thing. And if you want to move it, you can hold it and move it here and there. This is how. So this particular feature that ma'am was mentioning before for Google Earth Web, that it's not available there, but it's available on the Google Earth Pro desktop app. So yeah, this is how you create the path. And if you want to create polygon, so let's create a polygon for Caspian Sea. Yeah, so for creating a polygon, this is the second button which you use for creating a polygon. And you can just, like zoom in and zoom out and accordingly add in, like trace in the boundaries. It's just as similar as you have it in QGIS or ArcGIS softwares. It's the same way. And if you want to unselect again, right click. Okay. You can name it as, and you can change your style and color. So like, I don't want it to be filled, just the outline should be there. And I'll change the, okay, and just click on OK, and the feature will be created. So, like this, in this way, you can create the polygon also. So, if you want to edit the features, you can, like right click on them. So here, if you want to edit the features of polygon, you can right click and go to properties, and you're like, if you want to get it filled again, you can fill it, and you can even reduce the opacity. You have that option here. So yeah, this is how. So this particular feature, this is interesting to note because in Google Earth Pro app, we also have this feature for time series investigation. This particular button shows, which you see, this is for time series investigation. So here you have timelines from 1935 to 2020. So, like you can just disable this particular view. And right now it shows the latest view for this particular sea. And you can scroll back to time if you want to check it from 1973, and you can again create a polygon and like overlay them and check into what has been the difference into areas and all. This is one of the interesting features of this particular bit. So unlike time lapse feature, you can't save it here, you can't save the GIFs. These are not moving, these are static. But then these are because these are satellite imagery, so they give you a more clear idea of that particular region. So like, yeah, you can see the change in area of this particular sea. So this is something that you can do, and you like create multiple polygons. So yeah, this is about this. And now for opening, for exporting this particular project or something, you can, like this particular thing that I have, you can save it as a KMZ file and you can open it anytime later. Okay, it will save in the shapefile feature, and you can also open it into GIS softwares. And if you want to open an already created project, so you change your file type to again KML. Okay, I'll just, yeah, these are here, and you can, like simply import them here. Will again be directed to that particular feature. So this is about importing the whole project. But if you want to just import, like, take a screenshot of this particular bit into higher resolution and put it into some presentations. So I'll just show you how do we export that bit. So just a minute. Yeah. So here you have a feature called as, just a minute. Yeah, this particular feature, this third button from the right, this saves it in the image format. So here you have an option for map, like what all things you need. You can add title and description, you can add legend, you can add scale as per your choice. You can also add the compass, and you can also change the map configuration here. So depending on what kind of map you need. So when you are in this particular view, you can't zoom in or zoom out. So if you want to adjust your view, you can just disable this option, zoom into your particular feature, and then go back to this. And I'll just select the normal option here. And you can change your resolution, whatever resolution that you want. And just a minute. Yeah. And to add the name, you can just click on this edit button and add in here. And if you don't want to add any description, you can just not type in anything. And you can also adjust the size of this thing. And for the legend, you can edit the name by double clicking on this particular feature. So like I have this Gandhi Sagar lake here and Futala lake here. So I can, like add in here by naming them. No, these particular features actually, these represent your legend. So, like you can give in the water quality index of higher than 100 maybe. So like you can give it, change the legends like this. And if you think that the names have been not correct, you can just click on refresh from you and it will give you the original names here. So yeah, let's just keep it like this. So, and then like you click on save image and you can save it on in maybe it's JPG format and save it. So it will be exported in high quality. And apart from that, this particular feature of ruler, it shows you measuring the distances between 2 points. So like if you want to measure it from Futala Lake to this particular lake, I'll just click here and I'll draw a line, and like it will show you the map length. So you can change in your units also here, ground length also. And then you can also, the same way, you can also check for path and then polygons, where it will give you the perimeter and area. So this is what I was talking about for the Caspian Sea when you're using the time series feature also. And this is mainly about this particular feature. And alternatively, you also have options to import. So import also pertains to the same thing for importing the CSV file or your shape files from QGIS. So yeah, so this is about Google Pro. So for the exercise bit, I'll share you a Word file, not a Word file, a CSV file, which has wetlands from Africa. So you will have to upload that CSV file and, like adjust the, add in the point features to it. And I have given another column as threat as high, severe, and moderate. So you can change in the pinpoint to it. So I'll just share it in the chat, and you can let me know if you have any queries.
May I ask one?
Sure, ma'am.
Suppose we have imported one CSV file that has latitude and longitude in it.
Okay.
So they have it has been imported then as a point, points, right?
Yeah,
Against the
correct,
latitude
correct,
and
correct.
longitude. So in case I mean, I want to see the features of that things and want to like say want to draw a line. Can I do it using the CSV file?
Draw the line as in between 2 points that are in a CSV file like that?
Yes.
Okay. If I'll just share my screen and like see if I got it correctly what you just mentioned. I'll just share the screen. Yeah, so I've again opened my Mines of India file. So like if I have these 2 points, 2 particular locations of mine from Gujarat to Maharashtra, and if I want to draw a line, that's what you are referring to, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, so see, the features have already been imported. So you just simply go on this feature of add path, and you zoom into your location here and see you already know the coordinates of this, right? So, okay, sorry, I've opened it in the map view. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'll just create it again. So I'll just zoom in it and I'll just hover around this particular feature, and I can click on this, and then I'll go to my next point, which is, sorry. Yeah, I'll just take it from Maharashtra to Chhattisgarh maybe. Yeah, I'll just select it here and I'll go to this next point, and that would be it. So I can just put in the name for like whatever name that you want to give to it, and you can create it like that.
You know, sometimes what happens that you have to select a particular point. It might be like a couple of kilometers away from I'm choosing it. So if we could have done it using the CSV itself, then it would then at that time, I mean, exact location could be selected.
In that case, I think that the CSV file that we uploaded, it already has the coordinates, right? So we can match in the coordinates from that particular file for this particular. So like if I want to, no, that's not a feature, correct? Yeah, I won't be able to add in the exact point. You're correct on that, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I've already shared the file, so you can work on it. Okay, I'll share it again. For this particular activity also, we would need some volunteers. So like the ones who've already volunteered, you can also prepare on this particular exercise, or anybody else who would like to volunteer is welcome for this.
So have we got any volunteer for this? Preeti, have you ever used the artpointus that site?
Sorry, ma'am, can you come in here?
Okay, let me get the link, because you can draw the polygons and everything using the CSV file. Just you have to upload your CSV file into that that website, and they will create the KMZ file with the line things up there. Let me get you the link.
Okay.
PT, I sent the link on the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is self-explanatory, so you can simply check it out.
Sure, ma'am. Does anyone have any queries or doubts they can ask?
Someone had a issue with one of the time-lapse tools. Maybe you can share your screen and ask me what issue you're facing.
Okay, so I was asking the question about time lapse. So can I share my screen now?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so here, for example, when I want to share, and when I'm clicking here, I want to export a video. and it shows duration needs to be longer. And
yeah, go ahead.
but here I have selected from 1984, and I see there is no more option.
Can you, there is a duration scroll bar, like drag it to the end.
Yes, like that.
And now try and click on the video.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
So Preeti, what is the plan now?
So, ma'am, I think like it's already the break time. So we can take again a break of 15 minutes and then begin in 15 minutes for the remaining three tools, and then for the participant presentations and question and answer sessions towards the end.
Excellent. So we are then taking 15 minutes break.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, we are back after the break.
Yes, ma'am. So I think we can start with the next session. So I'll just share my screen. So the next tool that we have is Google Earth Voyager. So this is a feature of the Google Earth web application, and it enables you to explore a lot of features using the pre-made project. So like the way we created a project on Google Earth web, the same way there are a lot of projects uploaded by the Google itself on various topics that you have. So like they would have guided tours or quizzes or a lot of data visualizations along with the information. So they are also prepared by a lot of researchers across the world. So in a while, I'll share the link for this particular feature. But let me just show you across how this Google Earth Voyager looks like. So it's the same link as you used for Google Earth web application. And this is how it opens up. And this particular second button, it pertains to Voyager. So when you click on this, you will see that there are a lot of projects that are already uploaded. It might take some time, but yeah, there are like a lot of projects that you'll see that are already uploaded by Google on different topics. So you can simply scroll using the topic that you want, and you have different categories through which you can look at. So this is how the whole bit looks like. And this one's something that is interesting to us. So you can click on it and it will load it. So this is on sea level rise and the fate of coastal cities, a project that they have already prepared. So if you go and click on tour cities, so yeah, this is how it would be. So this is a visualization that they created using this particular tool that they have exported with a lot of features that you can see on this particular video. So this is all of this is created using the Google Earth web application itself. So this you can scroll through and you can also share it using this particular button. And apart from that, you have a lot of information on this here. So you can click on this button to check out the next location for this particular tour. So see, you will find all the information. So there's another flyover video also, how it would look like. Okay, I think we don't have access to this. And so basically this has a lot of locations that you can see here. See, so this, I think this is projected, this is how they projected it for New York City. You can see that with 4-degree scenario, this is how it will look like. And you also have option for like 2-degree scenario. So you can see that the flooding is quite less in here. And similarly, you can see it for the next location also. This is for Mumbai. So this is the 4-degree scenario that they created. And then again, you have the 2-degree scenario. So like the visualizations are quite nice, so that, you know, like you can look at, and you can also opt in for the 3D view. So you can zoom in and look into at what altitude is it happening. And like this is how you can scroll down. This has a lot of locations of the cities. This is for Shanghai. And similarly for Nigeria and Rio de Janeiro and for San Francisco. So yeah, this is like a good visualization for the sea level thing. Although you can't export this anytime, but you can always come back to Voyager and look into these projects. And apart from that, there is another project on agricultural, on changing forests. So this is an inclusive of time lapse also. So like if you see it here, it will show you the changing patterns for farming, for the soybean farming in this particular region called Bolivia. It's taking some time to load though, but so like you can clearly visualize how the land use pattern has changed in this particular region. Similarly, they have a lot of locations in this particular project also. So they have added cattle ranching, and then palm oil production. So this also has the time lapse thing that you can see for Sumatra region. Lord. This particular feature requires good internet connectivity generally. So you'll have to connect to So similarly, the same way, we have a lot of projects in this Voyager app that you can explore at your end. And you can check them through whatever features that they have. There are quite a lot of projects with different kinds of features. So I'll share the link for this one and you can explore different projects at your end. You have the warming planet also. So here also they have added the time lapse feature to show how the glaciers have changed across time because of the rise in global temperatures. And it would also have multiple points, and you can always use these features also, the stickman, the navigation thing, and the zoom in, zoom out thing to understand the whole scenario. So yeah, this is mainly about the Voyager tool that we have. And I'll move to the next tool that we have, which is the Google Earth Engine apps. So you can explore both of them later on. So for Earth Engine apps, basically, this is also similar to what you saw for the Google Earth Engine time lapse. So this one has a lot of public accessible user face for your own analysis. So they also have pre-created projects that you can check into, and they're dynamic. And sometimes you can also collaborate or like put in your own things and analysis into it. So this feature also has a um, lot of projects that are pre-uploaded. I'll just run you through some of them. So this is how the data catalog looks like. I'll just show you through. And yeah. So this one is a whole repository of different data sets, and you can look into whatever data sets you would need based on either tags or based on the satellite, whatever satellite you're looking into. So you have climate and weather data sets, and then you have imageries, a lot of high resolution imageries from different satellites. And then there is some geophysical data on the digital elevation models and the land use, land cover patterns. So there's quite a lot of data that you have. So like if you want to use some particular data for your own analysis, this shows you all the data catalog, data repositories that it has, and you can click on it, and like you can download it using this particular bit. So you'll have to sign in for Google Earth Engine to access all of these databases. So this might take some time for it. But yeah, this is mainly about all the data sets that we have in data catalogs. So these are like high resolution imageries. And apart from that, the Earth Engine apps that we have, they have a lot of preloaded projects basically. So these are also like user interface projects. So this one's on Human Impact Explorer. Yeah. So here what happens is you have like 4 maps that you can look into simultaneously. And this particular feature that you look into on the right hand. So all of these pertain to what is being displayed here. So like you can always change it. So you want to check in for population density. So that will be displayed in the first map. And here if you want say built up area, and here you want to see the modification. So this is how you can compare 4 different features for one particular location. And you can zoom into whatever area that you're looking into, and you can also scroll in for your region. And it also gives you the option of how do you want to see in your layer. So like if you want to, like reduce the opacity for this particular bit, you can change it also. So this is one of the features for this. And here you have the options. How do you want to visualize it? And again, you have the charts also. So you can export these charts in Excel format at your end. So yeah, this is how it looks like. And apart from that, we have global water change application. Yeah, so here it shows you like this particular scroller shows you two different scenarios of one particular region itself. So like you can take in a direct comparison of that region and see you have an option to select which layers do you want to see in. So if you want to check for water seasonality in this region, you can see what is the seasonal change in this region, and you can search in for any desired location that you want. So like if I want to zoom into this, I think this is the Caspian Sea again. So just a minute. Yeah, so you can scroll it and you can check in the water seasonality. And then if you disable this particular layer and move to the water extent change, it will show you this bit also, that how much the water changes from season to season. You can also take in here, these boxes also show you the same bit. And here you will have the locations of interest. So I think they already have some preloaded projects on this. So we have changed the locations to Sundarbans. And if I want to see the water extent change, I'll just zoom out a bit. And this is how it will visualize your region. So you can see what is the extent of change for this particular region. So this is one of the applications. Similarly, there are a lot of applications. One is on Amazon deforestation and biomass mapping, where you have the similar kind of features. And then you have this another ocean temperature series inspector also. So here you have the whole time series thing that you can see. So you can click on any region and it will generate you a chart of what are the changes in the ocean temperatures across the time span. And then you have some sentinel visualizations also, some general visualizations on how they look into different scenarios. And again, you can zoom in and zoom out. And this is similar to the one that we saw before. This is also for split panel itself. But here you have an option of, like selecting from where do you want to visualize it, which year or which date and time. So it does not have a lot of options as of now. But yeah, like the same way this feature also works. You can see the changes. So if you want to see what are the changes in water bodies across a span of time, this is useful for it. And this is another feature, Global Surface Water Explorer, which provides you with a lot of data sets. So I'll just show you how it looks like. Yeah, so this particular bit gives you different temporal profile charts for whatever location that you want. So like if I want to select this particular region, it will show you the occurrence. I think this is not a so we go to the already created projects here. You have these options of toggling in different features also. So it's only one feature at a time that you can see. See, you can see these charts about different water occurrence. And yeah, this is mainly it. And you can change in your background layers also. And so this is how you can visualize it. What are the different water transitions in the region? What are the annual water occurrence? What is the water seasonality? So yeah, this is mainly about the Google Earth Engine apps, and we'll share the links of all of these projects and the PPTs and otherwise also. So yeah, this is mainly it for Google Earth Engine apps. Preeti, you can go ahead with the next tool. Thank you.
Thank you, Lipi. Yeah, I'll be sharing the screen. The next tool that we're looking at is quite the same actually, Google Earth Engine. So the applications that we saw currently on the Google Earth Engine the application that we saw currently were in a way implemented using this Google Earth Engine. They have something that's called a code editor. So it uses actual coding in order to compare different kinds of satellite images, remote sensed images, in order to develop visualized products that we can infer from. For instance, the global surface water explorer that we saw the last, it basically tells us about the inundation pattern in a particular water body or wetland and its seasonality. So that is then derived out of multiple remote sensed images, multiple satellite images. So that we can do using a interface that they provide called the Google Earth Engine Code Editor. So I will share the link for this. Maybe you can explore it after the session. I'll also go through what all you can find over here. So this the Google Earth Engine, when you open it, this is the homepage that you find. And we also did discuss the time lapse before, so that you can find it over here. And some of the other things that you will also have here are, of course, what we're going to look at now is the code editor and data sets. So data sets are data on different satellite images that are available, like Landsat, MODIS, Sentinel, and much more. There are much more satellite products. Sorry. So there are many more satellite products that we can access using this Google Earth Engine. It is something like we have our remote sensing application softwares that is on the web. That is what Google Earth Engine is. You can do a lot of the operations that you would normally perform on a remote sensing application like ERDAS or partially on ARC. Whatever you can do over here. Like you can work with remote sensed images. You can mosaic, you can create land use, land cover maps. You can create, again, like I said, you can create multiple indices like NDWI, NDVI. It's actually, you can do a lot of applications over here. The advantage of using this Google Earth Engine in your study or research is that you don't need to install the application on your laptop or system. It's all on the web, and it's the processing is all done on the server. So you just need a good internet connection with a decent sized RAM so that you're able to load the results on your end. You're able to load the results on your browser. So like I said, they have a extensive set of data catalog. Like you can see, these are some of the products that they offer, but we'll not look into that. We'll start simple. I will be demonstrating a very small small simple piece of code that we can do on the Google Earth Engine code editor. So we'll be using the Sentinel data products for that. Sentinel is, we'll be using the Sentinel 2 imagery for what I'll be demonstrating right now in the surface reflectance. So I am assuming we have a basic background on remote sensing. So the bands that Sentinel-2 uses range from 1 to 12 plus 8A. So there are like 13 bands that we use. So what we'll do today is we'll try to derive the water index for any water body. So we'll try to do that with the help of Google Earth Engine code editor. So for that, NDWI, we usually use the near infrared and something called middle infrared. So we can either use the band 8, band 11 or band 12. But right now I'll be demonstrating you how we do MNDWI, that is modified normalized difference water index, because MNDWI has been proved to be better at mapping open water. So we'll be looking at the water index for a reservoir. So since it's a open water, mapping the water extent, it is done better with MNDWI, because sometimes with NDWI it happens so that some of the built up and all of that has the possibility to show up as water pixels. So anyway, I'll walk you through it. So to go to the code editor, so these are the band sets in the different wavelengths that they are at. Yeah. So to go to the code editor, again, one thing is that you need a login for this. For login, to sign up, all the applications for registering are not accepted. Wait, I'm sorry. So you'll need to sign up for this. It takes a while for them to accept it, maybe a day or two. So you can do it after the session possibly. And sometimes the applications are not accepted for a while. Sometimes they're not accepted. So maybe try using your personal ID to register, and the reason as you're a researcher working, you're a student researcher working on water research, something like that. So from here, from the homepage, you will go to platform and then the code editor. So it will take you to this interface. Yeah. So it will take you to this interface where you can see like multiple things over here. So let's go from the left. So this shows the list of scripts that you have already written. Like, so these are files that I've already created and that files that I've already worked on, right? And there are examples that are available here. So if you're starting out, you could go through all of these examples on how to code. So this works on programming, this works on coding. So you can either use JavaScript to code in this, or you can, if you have experience with Python, it's also possible to connect this with Python. But I don't think you will have the visualization aspect in Python. You'll have to use a separate module for that. But this interface, you can see that there is a new script box that is there. So that is why you write your code. And over here, you do it using JavaScript. And you have examples that you can go through when you are at your own time, so that you get an idea of what exactly it is. And this, the rightmost box, it has the console. The console prints whatever you ask it to print. Like if you say print some kind of text, it will print it here. When you use the word print, it will print it over here in the console. And inspector, you will have different layers that you can inspect. It will give you the pixel value. It will give you the, I think the lat long also it will give you over here. I will probably show it when we're doing. And the tasks, it is possible to export images that you create over here. Like let's say that you create a mosaic of a Landsat image. You can export it to your Google Drive. So if you export it to your Google Drive, you can download it and do further processing on it in your GIS software or in your remote sensing software. So those tasks of exporting or importing, you can also import shape files into this platform. So those things are kept track over here. So there will be a status bar that goes from started to completed. It will just show you the progress of what is happening. So right now, and this is the map view where whatever spatial data is displayed over here. Okay, for instance, I had done this script on indices already. So we can take a look at it and I will possibly explain you what it actually does. So yeah, and I'll also explain these things. So you can move using this, and this particular icon is for a place mark. This one is to draw a line, basically drawing geometries, polygon and square or rectangle. Yeah. So I had already drawn a geometry. I had already drawn a rectangle over here at one of the reservoirs in Himachal Pradesh. So you can see that there is already a box that I've drawn. You can just make it visible or make it invisible by doing this. You can add more layers also, draw more boxes or geometry, and it automatically gets imported into the project that you're working on. So I had a geometry called geometry, and it is imported over here. So I can use that as a shapefile for any processing that I want to do. So in case I have a shapefile in my system and I want to use that over here, I can do that also by going to this assets folder, where I can add assets in. I can add a raster file, I can add a shape file, I can add a CSV file. I can also make folders possible. So you can, it will get imported, and then you can use those shape files or raster files in your processing. And the docs tab shows you all the documentation of the different functions that is possible over here. So so we'll be working on the NDVI and MNDWI, not NDWI over here. So so this first block of code, so it is a function. Function is something that you can run recursively. Like let's say that I want to add two numbers. I want to do a plus b. Okay, but I want to do it 10 times. So it doesn't make much sense for me to write a plus b 10 times. So what I'll do is I'll create a function. I'll create a function and I'll put a plus b inside it and call that function recursively. So there is a lot of advantage for having functions in a way that you do not have to repeat code. It is more readable. And okay, there are a lot of functions, but I think there are a lot of advantages, but let's not get into that. So what this function over here does is that, okay, we'll get here later. I'll start with the actual code. So this is where we start. And what we initially do is that we are using Sentinel to surface reflectance data. And I do not know what the actual images file name is. If I know the name of the file, I can directly import the image over here, but I do not know the name of the file. So what I'll do is, I have this geometry over here. So what I'm doing over here, I'm getting an image collection. Okay, I'm getting an image collection of Sentinel-2 surface reflectance data, surface reflectance images, and I'm filtering it for this particular date. This date of, I'm looking at all the images and I am filtering only from dates 1st of April 2020 to 29th of April 2020. So I get a set of 10 to 15 images. Then that image I am filtering with respect to this particular square. I want only this part of it so that the images from the whole of the world don't load. So that's what I'm doing over here. And then I am filtering it with respect to cloud pixel percentage. If I have a set of 10 images and the cloud pixel percentage I'm giving is 20%. So if there will be images where the cloud percentage is around 50 or 100. So I don't want those images. I'm taking those off. I'm filtering those off. I have only images that have 20 or less than 20. And then I am masking these images, masking the clouds in these images. So this goes to this function that we saw earlier. So this is a function that uses a band of the Sentinel-2 image, Sentinel-2 band list QA60 in order to mask the clouds. So right now I will not get into this, but the function of this is to mask the clouds, and maybe we could look into this. I am not very aware of the background of people over here, so let us skip this for now. If you're interested, we can look at this at a later time maybe. So I have masked the clouds till here. I have a set of images. I have filtered with respect to date. I filtered with respect to location. I've filtered with respect to cloud percentage, and then I have masked these clouds. Now I still have a set of, let's say, 7 images. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the median of this. What this median function, what it does is it takes each of the bands. There are 13 bands over here. It takes each of the band and calculates the median of the pixels in the band. For a particular pixel, it calculates the median and gives me a single image as an output. And then that single image, I am clipping it according to this geometry so that I get only this box over here. So I'll show you, I'll run this code and I will show you what that looks like. So till here, this image, var image, that is var image, that is creating a variable called image. So that is what is displayed over here. So this is a median of the images from 1st April to 29th April. So I have visualized this in a true color composite by making use of this visualization parameter. So I have given band 4 to be red, band 3 to be green, band 2 to be blue. So that is the actual classification of bands. If you see here, yeah, 4 is red, 3 is green, and 2 is blue. So that is what is appearing over here. So in case, let's say I want to do a false color composite, I want to do infrared. So that will be 8, 4, and 3. 8 is near infrared, 4 is red, and 3 is, I think, green. Yeah. So if I do that, so you will get an image that has a false color composite. So you can see here it's clearly distinguishable that this is the region with water. And now, what we are doing is we are creating 2 palettes. So right now I told you that we'll be looking at green MNDWI and NDVI. So NDVI is the vegetation index and MNDWI is the water index. So we are creating a palette. A palette is to distribution of color. Colors. Yeah. So we'll be using the first one for the NDVI because we want to show vegetation as green, and palette 2 will be used for the water because we want to show water as blue. So as we know, and the indices range from -1 to +1. So it takes this whole range of -1 to +1 and divides it so that the lesser values get white and the higher values get blue. The higher values are essentially the areas with water. So you can also define more colors in a different way, such that there is a different kind of a distribution, not instead of 50-50, there's a different kind of distribution. But right now, this is one of the simple ways to define the palette. So after that, so this is the adding the layer to the map is what we have done. This is for this visualization that we have seen here. This visualization of the RGB in yeah, this satellite image that we have seen here, and this particular line centers the object within this geometry. This geometry is the square that we're talking about. Geometry over here is the square, and it centers the screen over there. That's what it does. And 10 is the scale that it will center. So I will share the code with you. You can play around with it, change values and see what happens. That is how you will learn. Okay, and calculating indices over here are very simple. So there are actually like 2-3 different ways to calculate indices. One is to manually take the bands and say subtract and divide and add and all of that. This is another way, this is another function that gives the normalized difference. You'll just have to put in the bands that you'll be using over here. So here we are using MNDW. Okay. Here we're using MNDWI. So MNDWI here, for that we are using band 3 and band 11. Band 3 is green and band 11 is SWIR. So again over here, you can either use 11 or 12 because both of them are SWIR. It's depending on your application and depending on the results that you get, that you calibrate according to your particular region. Because you can't have a single wavelength. It's largely depending on what wavelength you use that you get a little different results. So we are currently considering band 3 and band 11. So that gives us the MNDWI over here. And like I said, the map.add layer adds that particular we have generated the MNDWI, stored it in MNDWI2. So this the next one add layer adds it and uses this color palette as palette 2. Palette 2 is the one that we said it is blue, and then gives it a name MNDWI. And a similar thing we have done for NDVI. NDVI we are using NIR and red, and then we are again adding it. So I will run this and we can see the output. So this is the satellite image, initial satellite image. So this is the MNDWI and this is the NDVI. So NDVI largely is showing the green vegetation kind of output. It's showing it in green, and you can see that the water area is clearly extracted with the help of this MNDWI. So again, you might see that there are regions that might be in light green, but are not actually vegetation. Again, those things need calibration depending on the region and depending on, you'll just need to visualize it better. It's not that we've only used 2 colors, white and green. So you'll need to visualize it a little better using more colors over here. So this is something simple that we can do over here, but the applications that this has is like huge. Like all of the applications, Google Earth Engine applications that we did see previously were developed using this. You can do different kinds of things like this population thing that Lippy showed. It has like different panels. Like you can also code all of that over here. So I will also try to share you resources where you can learn more on this, because this obviously takes some time to learn the basics. I have not really gone into the code as such. I've just tried to explain what each of them does. So if you're really interested in it, like there are a lot of resources available on YouTube, even Google. If you search, there are a lot of free resources available, and this can actually help you out a lot in your research, anything. There are in case you're stuck without a proper system to work on your GIS remote sensing, this is something that you can turn to. This is open source and free. It's not open source, I don't think so, but this is free to use. So yeah. So I'm done with this. So we can, Lippy, what do you say? We can take up few questions and then move on to the presentation.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, you can unmute and ask. And if not, then we may start with the presentations, because I think we have 15 minutes left now.
Lippy, can I ask just one simple question?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, can you go back to your Google Earth Engine script?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you just go a bit up, there was like minimum and maximum range of 0.3, you see?
This one.
And visualization, exactly. So visualizations, you are choosing, I mean, rest of the indexes, you have chose like 0 to 1 because the indexes have all normalized values. So 0 to 1 makes sense. But when you are coming to these visual bands, B843, that means RGB, you have chosen maximum as 0.3. Can you a bit explain why is that?
So this actually what it does is it just it works with this contrast and sharpness of that image. Maybe I can show it to you. Like it doesn't have anything to do with the value as such. So if I make it 5, so this is better in the true color composite. It has something to do with how the even in your normal remote sensing applications, so it has become darker. So it is something related to the image as such, not anything with respect to the value. Like in case of indices, it is something to do with how the image is displayed. Even in QGIS or DAS, if you are loading an image and you can play with the contrast in order that you can see some things better. In some cases, if you adjust the contrast and sharpness a bit, you can see things in water that you can't normally see.
So it is just like that, the way you were saying that image, we do use sharpness, contrast, then the, I mean, a bit brighter, darker, just for the visualization purposes.
Yeah, it's something related to that. It is not like, it's not like that indices I was telling you, it's something related to that. So I also want to add that like we have the NDWI, the water index. We can also calculate area using this. And over there, like you said, we will be using the value of the indices. So let's say we want to take value greater than 0.4 to be considered water. So we'll be using the value over there when we are calculating areas.
Okay, thank you. You are going to share the code, right? You can share it right away.
Okay. I'll send. Okay. Before the
please,
session,
just if you send us the link, we can then play with it.
One is that you need access for this. Maybe you can apply. I'll start the code anyway right now, but you will need access for this. For that, you need to sign up and request for access. That might take some time to get the access.
Yeah, I have the access. That's why I was thinking
Okay,
of playing it right away. If I could have add something and seems like why it's not working, something like that.
Okay, sure. Then I'll share it.
Okay.
DP and Priti, here is some query from Muqtadar in the chat box.
Yeah, I think you can explain it better by showing stretching up to 100% on other values from layers down. Okay, do you mean you want me to display the map as the entire? Is this what you mean?
No, I was trying to say you as Sarah ma'am was asking how that value works. So here, if you go to the layers, could you please go to and go to RGB, and click on the wheel, gear wheel.
Settings.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And now, from custom, now you can stress from here so that we can fix a value in which value it looks better. And that is how, ma'am, we fix the value.
Okay, thank you. That makes lots of sense. One more thing, Preeti and Libby, if you just add one thing, how to download the image they want to download after visualization, you could add that a couple of write-ups at the end of this script before sharing, because people are interested to download whatever they have visualized.
Yeah. I'll add that and I'll share it with.
Yeah.
So, are there any other questions?
Queries, comments, you can just write in a chat box or raise your hand.
I've got a question, and that is in case of NDWI, you have shown only two color, white and blue. What if I add some more color, like for example 3 or 4 color?
Yeah, you can do that. I had made it such a way because it was simpler to explain and understand. But you can also add more colors in that. So it will just distribute it accordingly to the range of -1 to 1. So you will in fact have even for in case of NDVI, you can also go from blue to maybe white to indicate normal land to green to indicate vegetation. So you can do an extensive color palette also. That is just how you want to visualize it.
Yeah, I've got it. I wanted to know, in case of NDVI, we know the negative value indicate like it's a surface reflection, and the positive value, I mean, when it is +1, it's indicate the vegetation. So I want to know, in case of MNDWI, what does it mean, the positive value, I mean +1, and what does it mean -1?
So positive value indicates that there is the presence of water, but again, the lower levels of positive value could indicate water that are very shallow, or sometimes surface moisture, or water, very, very contaminated water or something. So a value of greater than 0.3 or 0.4 will indicate, you can use it to indicate water, and lesser than that you can usually find in lesser than 0, it will be these other surfaces. It can lower levels of positive value could also indicate some kind of vegetation, some kind of these vegetations you might find in water bodies, and lesser than that will usually indicate some kind of built up or something like that.
Okay, I got it. So it means if we add some more color, I mean, in between white and blue, then those color will indicate things like which has low water body or low water presence.
Yes,
like that.
And like I told you, I forgot to show that in that inspector you can actually look at the values over there. It also shows, wait, I'll try to share. Yeah, like you said, you can represent more with if you add more amount of colors over there. So in this inspector tab, so I have this layer on, this water index layer on. I click on somewhere in the water and it also gives you a value of what the index is over here. And the different, in different layers, I have 3 layers, right? One is the satellite layer and the MNDWI and the NDVI. So it gives us the value at all of these. So this would be quite useful when you're working so that you can make sure
yes,
that
I've got it. It means like when you're clicking anywhere in your region of interest, they are trying to show the value according to the pixel value, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah, I've got it. Thank you.
Any more queries or comments? Then we can go for a presentation. I have got a message in a WhatsApp that some of people have a problem with the internet, so they may not be able to present. So I will just request I think 2% Muktadar and then Sumana is here. Would you like to present whatever you have able to make
We
it?
had Harikala where they're supposed to present, and then Muktadi.
Harikala send a message, no?
Okay.
I think Sumana, you like to share?
Okay, ma'am. I will share. Should I share my screen?
Yeah, you are allowed.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, Sumana.
Okay. So we were given topic natural and man-made water infrastructure all over the world, and so I want to present it. Some of examples I have even added from our country too. So this is the first. I don't know whether I have done it correctly or not. This is a Lake Ghana, and here is the description which I extracted from the Google. Lake Ghana within the country of Ghana. And the next one, Fewa Lake, and it's a freshwater lake in Nepal, which is located in Pokhara Valley. So this is the polygon of it. The next one, Kulekhani Dam. It's a rock-filled dam on the Kulekhani River near Kulekhani in Makwanpur district of Nepal. But I have a question here. It is not visible. I have to zoom, and after that only I can see that line which I have drawn. And why is it so?
What you can do is, while you are adding that particular, is it a line that you have added?
Yes. Yeah, this is the line.
Okay. So while adding, if you can you, there is this option of capturing the something. Can you go back? I'll show it to you.
Back?
Yeah, back.
Okay.
Click on the dam. Click on the dam.
Where, ma'am?
The one that you showed, Kulekhani Dam.
Kulekhani Dam.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have to edit or what?
Edit. Do zoom into it. Like keep which view you want to see it in.
Yeah, this one I want to see.
Now there is a button, capture this view. Click on that.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, we have to zoom and we have to capture this view.
Yeah, you
okay,
want.
Ma'am. Okay, I got it.
You want to show. If this is the view you want to show, you need to capture this.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So I was in the Kulekhani Dam, right? Yes, ma'am, now it's visible. So this is the Kulekhani Dam, and I have drawn line of it. And the number 4 is Trisuri Hydropower Canal, and which is located in the central Nepal near to Nuakot and Dhading district. The next one is Lake Victoria, Africa's largest lake by area, and I have also made polygon of it. And the next one is Hoover Dam. It's a concrete arch gravity dam in the Black Canyon in US, which is located in US. So that's it, ma'am. I have done this much.
Thank you so
And
much,
I
ma'am.
stopped.
Yeah, this is your first one. Are you able to do other activities as well?
No, ma'am, I haven't done, because as everyone said, the weather is bad here also. It's raining outside, and most of the time during the session, I was unable to listen to the
That's
videos.
absolutely fine, Shona. That's absolutely fine. No worries. I'm impressed. If I could have given you a crest in person, I would.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And thank you so much. Now I think we can go to Muktadar. He also likes to present. Muktadar?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
You want to present the first one or the second exercise?
You can present both if you have done it.
Okay, so I'm gonna present both. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible now. So
yes.
Okay, so at first I'm gonna show some things by Placemark, I mean point. So there's a waterfall situated in Mirashara region in Bangladesh. It's known as Boro Kamalha waterfall. And next one is also a waterfall. It's known as Khoyachara waterfall. Is situated also in Mirashara region here in Bangladesh. And next one, here we have Kaptai Dam. There's a only one artificial dam here in Bangladesh, situated in Karnafuli River, which made Kaptai Lake, which is a man-made lake. And the next one is the Karnafuli River. I have made the path of this river by drawing line. So Karnafuli River starts from here, from Kaptai Lake, and ends in Bay of Bengal. So that is made by line tool. And the last one is Mohamaya Lake. That's situated in Mirashara region, and I have drawn polygon here on the Mohamaya Lake. So yeah, that's it.
And another one?
Okay.
Thank you for this one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna show another one, which is in Google Earth Pro. Actually, I've just extracted the Excel file and converted it into KML. So it was not too much of my work. Okay, so here is the Chad Lake in Africa, and then we have got I don't know how to pronounce this name, and then we have got another water body, and then the Afar Urashi wetland. It's also in Africa, and then the Lake Bradwell. Yeah, so that's it.
Excellent. Thank you, Preeti and Lipi, because just for that things we have virtually actually flying from one place to another. through their staffs. So thanks a lot. And Muqtadir, may I request you one thing? Can you share the points you have pointed out with me, because we are interested in the Mirashar lakes and the things you have just shown. It would be, I mean, it would be easier for Menuka to plan accordingly, because this is under the project we are planning. So Muqtadir.
Yeah, thank you, Muqtadir, taking us
for
to
sure.
the Moyasara.
Ma'am, as per I can remember that my supervisor Musharraf Hussain sir sent you the location point of all waterfall in Mirashar region.
Really?
Yeah, and
Maybe I have lost somewhere. Can you then email that again to me?
Yeah, for sure, ma'am. I can email you all of the location of those waterfall. Okay.
Excellent. You have our email addresses, right? Or you want us to write it down to you to the chat box?
It would be better if you write down your email address, ma'am.
Excellent. No worries. Okay, so who is next?
Anyone who wants to present it, any activity, you know, there are lots of activity, lots of like Lipi and British shared it. We know that because of this weather condition in here and some nearby country, maybe some people able to get some activity and some others, some other parts. So whoever feel comfortable, just it's not necessary to have to finish, you know, that Mukta just send it to what he did it, you know, first part, and Sumana whatever she able to make it. So it's not that you have to do all. Anyone wants to share it or have a query? Maybe they are stuck in somewhere like a Sumana. Seems like no, but we got a lots of requests from the student that this session is really grateful, but because of the internet connection and the bad weather condition, they are not able to continuously follow up. So they want to practice this with the Lipi and the Preeti's permission. If they have a permission, we will really like to share this recording as soon as possible.
Sure, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
So at least, and then they have shared a lot of link. I have also copy, but I will ask again Lipi and Preeti to send us again. So we will send this link to you, so you can you know that play with by yourself, whatever you know that when you are working. Like for example, for me, I just was working with the NDWI. For me, today is a new thing. I know about the MNDWI, so this is also new for me. So you know. You will get a new thing and apply in your own context.
And you could have asked one question, why there is MDW1 and MNDW2? What does that really, the applications of both, I mean, what's the difference between that two?
So there are two SWIR bands in Sentinel. So depending on that, you get two different results. I had included both of them because depending on the properties of water, we might get better results with one of those indices.
But Preeti, which will be the better one?
Ma'am, I'm
one
not.
Or two?
I have used the band 11. That is what I have used. But it is something for us to explore. I also do not know extensively on the right applications.
Okay.
So since there are two SWIR bands, I had tried to include both of them.
Thank you so much. Definitely.
Thank you. Saifullah, may I ask if you know anything regarding this? Maybe not. Okay, the thing is like, if the lake is greenery, for example, say you are trying to subtract a water body that is actually all the time covered with you know what we call eutrophications problem.
Water highness and all those plants. Yes.
So it has water, but it's not actually giving the reflections of water like the rivers does. So that's what Preeti was trying to say, that depending on the properties you want to detect, you have to decide.
Yeah, it's mostly with the lakes. Then eutrophication is mostly problem with the lakes, no?
Yeah, so MNDWI is better. The one, I mean, with the SWR1, it's better with those eutrophicated lakes. That's what the paper says, as far as I recall. But I don't remember what's the use of SWR2. I mean MNDW2.
Don't worry, maybe for our study we will use it, Sarah.
Yeah, so that's why you need to understand what the actually use of those index, where they are best replicating. Sometimes and there, I mean, there are lots of factors, depends on just running the course. Sometimes that will not help you if you don't know actually what
is the
that indices are best for.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
So anything, any query comments? Otherwise we will leave today with the, we will definitely share with the PPTs and others information Priti and Libby share with us. But with the recording, maybe you have to wait a little bit more. This is a big size, and Sarah told me that she will help me to upload in her.
Exactly, no problem.
Yeah, so maybe.
And you have got Lipi's and Preeti's number. So anything problem comes up, right? I'm answering on behalf of Preeti and Lipi. That they can ask her. Figure it out what to do next.
Yeah, definitely.
So
So
also shared the updated the PPTs that we had sent. We have made some changes. I'll share with all the links that we have shared today. Let's see if we have
yeah, that will be the great with the modified PPT, and at the end all the links which you share in the chat box. That yeah, that would be the great. So we are already 10 or 11 minutes late. So we Sarah and me personally wants to thanks Priti and Lipi to take, because most of the time we will have each person one session, but both of these two excellent presenter have a take all the session, especially in Saturday when there is holiday. And with the geospatial solution, we know it takes a time to grasp it, but because we are sharing a recording and their PPT, you are really able to use it in your own research. We are very sure, much sure. And they also provide the email. That means if you have queries, some queries, you can also write an email. Sarah, you like to add any more?
No, nothing. And Eid Mubarak to everybody.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Lipi and Priti. Thank you so much. We weren't able to meet in person, but future we will hope it. Virtually, we will really like. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we will have our next session on 6th.
Yeah,
so
6th
it's
and
after
7th.
Eid, and that's why Eid Mubarak from Bangladesh.
Okay, so all of our friends from India, Nepal who have like celebrating this festival, Eid Mubarak then.
Exactly.
Then Priti, Lipi, thank you once again. If we able to meet in future, it will be great.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice evening. Yeah. Okay. Bye bye.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye bye.